Welcome to Worst Workshop. I'm here with Princess and Little Bit, and today we're going to work on this table. Girls, do you know what this is right here?
What?
This project is special, not just because it's walnut, not just wood, but walnut. It's expensive, but also because it's for a birthday present for my wife. Each of these boards were about 8 feet long, so we bisected each at the midpoint and cut them in half.
Okay, we need to take a second and talk about shop safety. So, you got a splinter in your hand. Can I see?
I took most of it out, but
Yeah. So, when you get a splinter, especially when you're talking about woods like walnut, the best thing to do is suck it up and...
Do you ever wonder what kind of things your kids are going to be in therapy for? Like, you know how you got messed up when you were a kid, but what things are going to really mess them up? And how many of them are going to be my fault? I don't know if you've figured this out yet, but that board is too big for this jointer. For one, it's a 6-inch jointer and this is a 7-inch board. Now I have a trick to work around that. You stick your plane on the flat part of it and use it as a reference to plane off that little inch that you missed, and that works. But the real problem here is that the board is too long for the jointer, and no matter what I do, I'll never be able to get it flat. Using that drum sander is a waste of time too. Again, 4-foot board, 2-foot work surface. Let me explain. I went into Canva and I grabbed a table because they don't have jointers in Canva. So this is going to be our jointer, and I've got a piece of wood. Now, conventional wisdom on the jointer is to have the crown down, so that's what we're going to do. As we run it across the surface, pretend that cutter is in the middle, and we're continuing to put pressure before that cutter. We're going to keep cutting right along that crown. And the crown never goes away because you never have both ends of the board touching your table at the same time. There may be some tricks to get around that. I'm pretty new with the jointer, but the one that I know involves a planer using a sled. The problem is, my planer was broken. I'd taken this planer apart just a few months ago, and then after working for just a little bit, it started eating wood. I don't know any other way to describe it. It just would eat the boards that I put in there. I was at my wit's end. And that's what moved me to finally crack it open and figure out what was wrong. And once I got in there, I figured out pretty quickly that it was my own fault. These guards that hold the planer blades in place, well, I'd put them on backwards. And what was actually happening when I was feeding my wood through is those guards were what was trying to cut the wood instead of the blades themselves. Well, it was a pretty easy fix and a pretty stupid mistake, but after it was all said and done, the planer worked. From there, things went pretty fast. We screwed down in-feed and out-feed support to our table and developed a system where I would feed through first a block to keep us from having snipe, and then one board at a time right after another, and then finally Princess would hand back that board so I could feed it through at the end and again avoid snipe. And that, my friends, is how it's done. I added dowels for alignment using this jig that I can't decide if I like or not. I'll link it down into the description, and if you have an opinion, I'd love to hear it. Then it was time for glue up, which is always a race against time.
dooby doo dooby doo dooby doo doo dooby doo 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 doo.
And now we wait. Not too bad, but it is going to need a little work. One of the boards was splitting at the end, so I drilled a little hole right at the end of the split, and then I made some bow ties. Now, some people hate bow ties and some people love them. My wife loves them. I love them, and we're the only ones that are going to have to deal with this desk, so if you don't like them, too bad. I really like to make hand-cut bow ties, and it's a pretty simple process. You decide basically the shape and size that you want them to be. You go and cut out these bow ties. They can be as random as you want, and then you come over to your table and you trace the outline. You carefully mark the edges with a marking knife or a chisel, and then oh so carefully cut those edges. Once you get past the very top layer, you can go nuts. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to see anything except what's right on the top anyway. And then you glue in your bow tie and plane it level. Simple as that. At least if you're on YouTube. Your results may vary. To get that top as flat as I could, I did a little bit of planing. Okay, honestly, it was a lot of planing. And then I did a little bit of sanding. Okay, it was actually a lot of sanding. I even did some scraping. Look at those little wispies. Hey, wood works. That's what it's supposed to look like. And grow a beard. After trimming the edges and adding an 1/8 inch round over, I was ready for finish. I sealed the top with a light coat of epoxy and then used a wipe-on polyurethane for a satin finish. You know, sometimes I come home from the hardwood store and I'll look at the wood I got and I think, dadgummit wood, you really could have been something. Then I bought you. But, you know, I look at this and it's really not bad. As long as a cat doesn't walk across it. This is the mounted electric sit-stand desk frame, and I really love it. The instructions were clear and the packaging was great. It was just what I wanted. I was gonna order one, and I thought I might just reach out to the company instead and see if they wanted to work with our channel. I've done that a couple times before, but Mounted is the first company to ever say yes. You see, as a content creator, even at the size of this channel, you get offers about once a week for a free laser engraver or a Sawzall or whatever. And I've said no to every one so far. But hear me, I was gonna buy this anyway, and they didn't contact me, I reached out to them. All they asked me to do in the video was offer a link to the product in the description, which I would have done anyway, so do me a favor and check them out. I'll link to their Amazon store and to this desk frame in the description of this video. And if you get a chance, tell them thanks for supporting a small channel like this one.
Hold down this button. Okay. Hold it down.
Oh my gosh.
Just keep it until it stops. Keep it going until it stops.
It even has a number here.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh
It's
my
like
gosh,
just kinda
honey. Oh, it feels so sturdy too.
A wife of noble character who can find. She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. Her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all.
Thank you for my birthday present. I love it so much.